Stop me if you've heard this before. There's a Liberal minority government running the show in Ottawa, there's a Republican president in the White House, and there's a trade dispute spilling over the borders with our neighbors to the south. No, it's not 2025. It's not even 2016. I want to take you back to 2005.
The Byrd Amendment, in its basic philosophy and in its substance, it runs counter to virtually every tenet of international trade. Canada is not the only country that is taking this kind of action, but the fact is that the Byrd Amendment is simply protectionism at its worst. It's incumbent upon Canada to take retaliatory action.
Let's unpack the first part of the Prime Minister's scrum, the Byrd Amendment. It was an act passed by this guy, Democratic Senator from West Virginia, Robert Byrd. It ruffled some feathers in 2000 because at the heart of it were these dumping duties, basically fees the U.S. was slapping on goods from around the world that were coming to America, including countries like Canada.
There's a handful of economists out there that say the actual proper definition of dumping would be that I've got all this excess supply that I don't know what to do with, and I'm selling it in the world below my cost, just to get rid of the output. Maybe I'm being subsidized by my government, I've produced too much steel, I've driven down the price in my economy and the world, and now I'm getting rid of this excess supply and I'm selling it below my cost.
It's that selling below cost that companies have issues with. It makes it harder for them to stay competitive.
First, you get formally accused of dumping. Then you get hit with a duty. Then the revenue collected from the duty, the import tax or tariff, is then distributed to your competitors. So not only do you get hit with a tariff, which increases the wall you're facing relative to the United States, there's a tariff wall, but the money from this tariff wall then goes to your competitors. It confers a double advantage on local firms, in this case American firms.
Which brings me to the second point we need to talk about, retaliation.
It's incumbent upon Canada to take retaliatory action.
The World Trade Organization ruled that the Byrd Amendment was illegal in 2002, and that other countries could levy their own penalties against the U.S. to even the score. In 2005, the European Union adds a 15% tax on U.S. textiles, papers, as well as farm goods and machinery. Japan jumps in the fray with a 15% tax on imported American steel. In May of that year, Canada hits back with a 15% surtax on U.S. live swine, tropical fish, oysters, and cigarettes for an estimated value of $14 million. And this pressure seemed to have helped. U.S. Congress repealed the bill as of January 2006, with American companies no longer collecting fees as of October 2007. It ended a speed bump in Canadian-U.S. relations that this outgoing ambassador summed up here.
The Byrd Amendment is being repealed, so it's in a healthier situation. But having said that, Canadians need to understand this should not be the litmus test of the relationship between Canada and the United States. It's just one trade issue.
As Canadians await to see how the latest threats of tariffs play out, one expert we spoke to says it's time for Canada to revisit industrialization.
The solution is complex. It's to reindustrialize your country without blaming foreigners. It's difficult, but it's possible to obtain